we're coming up on a year of CM Punk in AEW. I know he's one of the ones that you enjoy. I guess for him, it would have been very difficult for him to go back to WWE. How would you assess his almost first year in AEW?
Well, it wouldn't have been difficult for him to go back to WWE because he didn't want to. And they didn't do anything to make him want to. And he stands up for, that's another reason I like him. But regardless of whether you like the guy's wrestling or not, he left on his own terms while telling the fucking son-in-law, I don't need to work with you. You need to work with me. I like that. And then he went away and didn't fucking come back until he wanted to. He didn't have to do a goddamn fan fest. Or he didn't have to do a goddamn outlaw show in a rec center in fucking Des Moines or whatever the case. But he waited until he thought that he could contribute something, and he did. And from the sold out house in Chicago the first time to they debuted their Friday show with an incredible rating, and now the fucking thing, you could be in a federal witness protection program and appear on that show. Nobody know you were there. They've given up on Friday, but that's not Punk's fault. He talks to people. He sounds genuine. He looks genuine. He's not CM Punk is not he doesn't have the physique of Ric Flair nor the outlandish persona. He's not the greatest worker in the world like an Eddie Guerrero, but he understands mentally what wrestling is, and he was one of the only ones on television over the last 6 months or so exhibiting that. And that's why one of the other ones was MJF, and when they got together, it was magic. Because that's wrestling. That's a personality that I'm predisposed already to like, and he makes me like him more. That's a personality I'm predisposed to dislike, and what an asshole he is. I hate him even more. And when they get together, I want to see what happens. And they hype the match, and then they have a match, and it's not a goddamn gymnastics meet. And they don't look like small children playing tickle taint with each other. They have a fight and somebody wins. Same thing with FTR and the Briscoes. Now they're going to have the rematch on a Ring of Honor pay-per-view. The best match of WrestleMania week from any company gets rematched. They can't put it on fucking AEW. They can't even put it. Okay, let's say that the story is true that one of the Warner executives didn't want to sign the Briscoes. They can't put it on their pay-per-view? It's insane. But and you've got guys like Powerhouse Hobbs, that if any, I can think Bill Watts, Dusty Rhodes, Eddie Graham, Jerry Jarrett, Bill Dundee, could have made that guy a star. They would have taken an interest in him. They would have pushed him. Nobody gets a coherent push. People that you want to see appear on TV once and you don't see them again for fucking 2 months. People that you can't stand are on TV every week, getting beat, doing nothing, but you can't get rid of them. It's chaos. So that's why, when you get some guys that are talented that can do what wrestling is, then that's when AEW looks like they've got a big building, they got a big production, and they got a lot of fans. They look major league. And the next thing you see is somebody that looks like their second week of fucking wrestling school, or some fake promo, or some ridiculous scenario that nobody could possibly believe. And it's just clown show. Wardlow got over. Now they don't know what to do with him, and all they do in every one of his matches is run 20 people in to stick their chin out and obviously take a bump for him, so the people will cheer. Well, they will cheer, but sooner or later, we need to see something more. Wardlow's a fucking star. He's another guy any promoter would have taken and pushed to the moon. But I don't trust anybody that's inexperienced and doesn't know how to take care of themselves and doesn't have the pull to tell Tony what they are going to do. I don't have any trust in their future because there's nobody there to guide them.
Well, just one last thing on Punk. I mean, is it from your perspective, someone who knows, so much about wrestling, is it doubly impressive that he came back after not wrestling for 7 years and was able to kind of slot himself in and be CM Punk again pretty much straight away?
Yeah, I mean, you get out of a habit. There's muscle memory. There's, you got to callous your body up to the bumps. But more importantly, it's just mentally getting into it and doing it. And I think he was able to do that. And he probably thought about it for a long time and was sure he was there. And I mean, again, Punk is not a guy that's supposed to be or going to be doing triple Hurricane Ranas off the top rope. So, except for trying to do that buckshot lariat and not landing it perfect, or whatever the case, he sticks to what he does, which is work and tell a story. And so I think he probably was pretty much ready to come back before he did, or elsewise he would have known that he I'm sure took some measures to make sure that he was ready from the time they first saw him.
Vince, a team of psychiatrists could spend a career working on Vince McMahon, and in the end, Vince would still be Vince, and the psychiatrist would be in a rubber room at the Puzzle Factory.